Hey guys, we're back at it with another true crime story. Come on. Powerful. I didn't think I'd be jumping into true crime. I guess I got a real thing for kids getting offed. So, let's see what we got here today. There's a little bit of an older video. It's Ape Hunt Show.
Position kind of like this. Okay.
I got a little bit of this.
Obviously, I was playing too.
So this guy, epic gamer moment, was playing a video game. Baby cried. He decided to finish the game. But let's just see how he finished the game. First off, I want to take a look at some of these wild videos. Let me move myself here. Ooh. Let me move myself here. Look at that. Wife discovers her husband's sick secret. She's like a British Gillian Anderson there. Oh, maybe don't buy a used 3DS anymore. That is probably going to be something to do with the Eye of Thor and how they're the same. Same item. They're the same item, same price. So I guess the 3DS is now gone. I just recently got into the 3DS stuff. Yeah, so I just modded my 3DS. The Eye of Thor, or Iron Thor, is like the same price, but it's way better. The reset, that's Gen 5, Gen 1. I saw a crazy one here. Why you watch? Couldn't fight Ichigo's True Bankai. That's a spoiler. Okay, no. I guess there's nothing crazy here. There is this one where it's like parents get in a fight over transgenders, and then pop. Let's see.
I don't have to put that on, right? Like it could just make it seem okay. Yeah. So I'm playing 2K. He eats. He's perfectly fine. I obviously check on him back.
Excuse me, sir. We're gonna need you to put 2K on. We need to understand. In fact, if you could actually just like start a game and then get to where you were, because we gotta understand this could be a mitigating factor in the court case.
Back and forth as I'm playing.
Yeah. And now it was different this time because he didn't vomit.
This is 23-year-old Andrew Lynn Martin talking with police.
You know what? 23 is just the cusp. It's just on the other side of, you know, being old. Is that a hole in the wall there? That's a gun. That's awesome. Hell yeah, brother. 23 is just like the other side of like being too young. Like I don't think like a 19-year-old could get away with what this guy is going to try to get away with. But 23 is definitely way too old to be trying to get away with this stuff. Let's see. Now, this isn't a real baby. I don't know if I'd put my baby like that. Look, there's no neck support.
It's about events that unfold.
There's no neck support here. The baby's head's just floating. I don't know how old this baby is. I think it's like less than a week. No shot a baby's neck would be like the baby might have just snapped its neck trying to lay its head down there.
On January 8th, 2020, the day his 3-month-old son, Zayden Martin, tragically died. As he recounts the morning...
Yeah, a 3-month-old cannot hold their head up that long. And I don't know how that long is, but if it's at least one NBA game, that's like 20 times too long.
Andrew appears calm. He explains to detectives that this was the first time he'd been solely responsible for caring for Zayden as his girl.
That's crazy. Could you imagine having a 3-month-old and just being solely responsible for them? Like the first time in 3 months? That's a huge red flag. That's terrifying, bro. Because you know what? Sometimes your wife or girlfriend or however you want to hurt God your partner has to leave the house to just catch some air. Was his wife or whatever just trapped in the house 24/7? He's like, well, babe, just throw the baby on the pillows. I'll be able to play some 2K. Damn, that's crazy. Like, it's almost unbelievable that it's the first time.
Girlfriend Michelle, the baby's mother, had recently found a job and was starting work.
Bro, I'm sorry for interrupting. That country is so backwards, bro. You have a 3-month-old at home and you have to go to work? I'm in Canada. We're doing the 12 months at my house. 12 months, you get 55% of your pay. And right here, you also have the option in Canada to do 18 months off. Same amount of money as the 12 months, but you get so much time. I can't believe it, bro. Have to go to... I was watching Superstore, and the America Ferrera had to go back to work the next day. Crazy stuff, man.
To Andrew, at some point that morning, Zayden began to drift off to sleep, so he decided to put him in his cot and went on to play on his Xbox. Then, during a round of checkups, he claims that he found Zayden gasping for air. Moments later, ladies and gentlemen, Zayden supposedly stopped breathing altogether, and that's when Andrew panicked, attempted CPR, and then contacted family who told him to call emergency services. Once they arrived, life-saving measures were attempted.
Bro. First off, absolute nightmare. That's maybe one of the worst things I heard. You know, I saw this one video. Grandma took LSD, put the baby in the oven, made a pot roast. This is terrible. But this isn't just terrible. But look, he's doing CPR on the dummy. I could never. I could absolutely never. Maybe if they ask, but like, look at this guy. Didn't he ask in the beginning of the video, do I need to get into the game? This guy's a fool.
However, Zayden was pronounced dead shortly after arriving at hospital.
Yeah, no, normally he was vomiting from the last couple months, and now he stopped.
This guy isn't crying enough.
Vomiting process, so he was still burping, but he wasn't, vomiting, and all of it was coming out of him onto his Pampers and onto his body like that. So.
And so that's been more of a change.
It's been more of a change over time, but it was a good change. It wasn't a bad change.
Gotcha.
It went from bad to good. So I picked him up, made sure everything was okay. I burped him like this. Mm-hmm. He burped perfectly fine. Everything was good. I decided to wrap him up, swallow him up. Mm-hmm. So I picked him up. He was good. He looked like he was falling asleep over here, which is why I made the decision to put him in his room. Okay. I don't normally keep him out here. It's not a comfortable position.
Yeah.
Took him over here.
Can I just say, why don't you make it a comfortable position? If you want to play your game, that's not a problem. But a 3-month-old can sleep in like a rocker. You know, they got these chairs that rock. They kind of recline, or they kind of go up. They got a little system where there's a bar that gets hooked on rungs, and the higher or the closer the rung is to the front, the higher the baby sits up. Why don't you just set the baby up? Why are you trying to separate the baby and put the baby in another room? You know, I hope my little baby doesn't grow up to be some kind of attached monster. But I hate the idea of leaving my baby in another room. I feel like I'm abusing it.
Here, which is where he normally has his pillow. Which is
pillow?
Up there.
Yeah. So
bro, no shot. First off, they left the bassinet. What the hell? Okay, here's where I'm confused. They got the crib and they got the bassinet in the same room. I wonder why they still have the bassinet. It kind of seems like a big waste of space. We're gonna be selling our bassinet very soon, quite honestly. And they got the change room table here. Where the hell is a 3-month-old gonna use a pillow? I wonder if it's like some big pillow. Like one of those like super big pillows that are like yay big, and then like the baby kind of sinks into it. But short of that,
pillow you have him
got his pillow. He has swallowed. He swallowed. He was up in a position kind of like this.
Okay.
Which is when I laid him down.
That's stupid.
Gotcha. Straight up, perfect. Had his binky.
What? You know what? Listen, I'm a first-time father. Baby's very young. I could never imagine putting my baby's head on a pillow. Please tell me if I'm wrong. Please tell me if I'm like just out to lunch on this. But I could not imagine putting my baby's head on a pillow elevated while it's trying to sleep. My baby has to lay flat.
He was okay. Mm-hmm. Went outside. I continued to play my Xbox. Mm-hmm. When I came back in the room to check on him, his head was twisted this way.
Yeah.
Towards the right, facing the window.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Still swallowed up, and he was doing the gasping thing.
Okay.
And
you heard that from the living room?
No, I just came in to check on him. I was just making sure he was okay.
Okay.
So when I came in here, I heard him doing the gasping. I picked him up. After I picked him up, I unwrapped him. Mm-hmm. I started beating on his back to make sure he wasn't choking on anything.
Yeah.
And he was on this side of my shoulder, so I was like this. Mm-hmm.
in a situation like that, you gotta be on the back while having the face towards you so that you can see the baby's face.
I faced him to me, which is when I saw him turning purple and blue, not breathing. I called Sarah. I had my phone on me. I came out of his room because there's obviously not space in here. I brought him out to the living room. She told me to lay him down on a flat
Bro,
surface.
I don't know if I'm just like a big wuss or whatever, but I would so be crying during this. Like I would not be able to. Where the hell's the TV? It's got to be up there. I would be crying. I don't even know if I'd be holding the doll, bro. I don't know. Crazy stuff.
Right here in the middle. She told me to put one hand under his neck, kind of like this.
Yep.
So I had him like this, kind of levitated with his head tilted back.
Right.
2 fingers
I want to get that
just in the
airway
middle
up.
of his cervix, I believe is what it was called. And it
Cervix.
was 1, 2, 3, 4.
Sternum.
And
Sternum, not cervix.
just until his chest rised. But it wasn't immediately, 1, 2, 3, 4. I did that. It was the 1, 2, 3, 4, kind of like 5 or 6 times. And then she told me, do the 2 breaths just until his chest rises.
Okay.
Which is when the deputy came. I had to leave him here because my door was locked.
This is my
So
worst
I left him
nightmare.
here. I got up. I ran to the door. I unlocked the door. The deputy came in running behind me, I believe, with an EKG. I ran next to him on this side. Now I'm on this side. He's over here. I'm continuing to do the CPR as I was instructed. So as soon as he ran in the door, I let her know, and that's
Is that
when we
my
stopped
player
contact, and
doing
he picked
that, or
him
is that
up
the video?
and ran out the door with him.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Perfect. Appreciate you going through this with us again.
What Andrew didn't know was that by this point, detectives already considered him a potential suspect.
Bro, look at that haircut. Bro. First off, listen, I can't talk about facial hair, but like, come on. Look at the pubes. Worst mustache ever. And this is so like, I'm not saying like you got to be symmetrical, because symmetrical doesn't always work, right? But I'm just looking at this haircut. This is like a poof ball that's up to the left, on the left, and then like shaved on the side. Very odd, and in the eyes, Get some sleep. Stop playing video games.
Why?
So late.
Well, surprise, surprise, Zayden hadn't simply stopped breathing due to some kind of medical emergency. The circumstances surrounding the death were already suspicious, but when
Bro, I still hate that. The mattress should be soft enough that the baby's head can rest.
investigators received confirmation that the cause was ruled as a homicide,
Pillow,
their
bro.
suspicions intensified. Let's just say the medical findings were deeply concerning. At the time of his death, Zayden had bleeding and swelling in and around his brain, hemorrhaging around his spinal cord, and was bleeding in both eyes, injuries commonly associated with severe head
Jesus.
trauma. In addition, doctors discovered he had multiple fractured ribs. Some were recent, others were already in the process of healing. Medical professionals confirmed that Zayden's bones were healthy. Again,
Did I hear that right? The bones were already in the process of healing, and then they broke again.
ruling out any underlying disease that could have caused spontaneous fractures. The pattern, severity, and varying stages of these injuries pointed to repeated physical trauma, not a single accident. This was no isolated incident. In fact, it suggested Zayden had been hurt multiple times in the weeks leading up to his death.
I wonder if the mom was involved. And I'm asking that because this was the first time that he was taking care of Zayden for the first time in 3 months, so I wonder.
After months of investigation, one final interview with Andrew was scheduled in.
Bro, look at
Police
that
were ready to charge
haircut,
him with
bro.
manslaughter, but wanted to see if they could get a
Ew, what are you wearing? Ugly shirt, uglier pants, which is quite a feat because that's a very ugly shirt. Bro, and that hair, come on. Come on. You do your ends blonde? Come on. Get out of here.
confession to solidify their evidence. Up until this point, Andrew had maintained the same version of events across multiple interviews, likely an effort by investigators to test the consistency of his story. The same initially went for the final interview, but out of nowhere...
Bro, what year is it? Look at this fan. Get a Dyson. Look how gross. And what's that phone? Come on.
he cracked.
I'm sorry, I gotta see this. Replace this with a Dyson. Replace this couch with a Lazy Boy. That'd be sick. Replace this stupid chair with a Lazy Boy. Replace this table with a freaking one of those tables that pilgrims make, or what are they called? The Amish. The Amish make these tables. Put a freaking flat screen TV in here. Put the freaking 2K in there. Get rid of this poverty phone. I want to get rid of this stupid vape. Get cigarettes. That'd be cooler. And replace this with a freaking iPhone 17. Hell yeah. And freaking replace this with a freaking crib mattress.
The same initially went for the final interview, but out of nowhere, he cracked.
So there was obviously the autopsy.
Correct.
There was a skeletal exam.
Did he crack because he couldn't hit that vape? You ever see these videos? These guys are like fiending for a vape. I've never done a vape, so I don't know what this fiend is, but they just need the nicotine in the freaking Jolly Rancher flavor so bad that they'll do anything. It's kind of a form of torture to not let this guy vape and defend himself.
After the autopsy, and there was we were waiting on toxicology for a while, and then there was another medical exam done by a neurologist, I believe. So we've gone through quite the battery of tests and examinations and things. But so there's still some unanswered questions based on what we observed ourselves, not just medical documents, because I attended the autopsy. He attended the skeletal exam. So I mean, this is stuff that's just not coming back on paperwork. It's something I physically observed myself, which wasn't a pleasant experience. So some of the things that were noticed were different stages of healing of fractures on his ribs. So this
Officer, I was just tickling a smidge too hard.
Was
light ribbing.
Would have been early on, like early, all the way till he passed away.
So
I don't know how to explain.
I'm sorry. Is this that game where it's like I saw Pam do it in The Office. I watched The Office because I'm a millennial. Pam was trying to become the office manager. It's one of these fake jobs, but you could really get some good work done advocating for the people in the office, being an office manager and all. She was trying to get an office manager position while the company was in transition from Sabre from Dunder Mifflin, I believe. And she got all these signatures from the department heads, and the department heads were like, oh yes, you are the office manager. And they were playing a little quid pro quo, which is the perfect time to do it when you're doing a transition or a merger like that. Anyways, so she goes up to Gabe, and Gabe has his concerns, and Gabe is insinuating that Pam was not the office manager, and Pam said, go ahead, say I'm not the office manager, and Gabe was too polite to not, this is so stupid, to not say that she wasn't the office manager, or too polite to say that she wasn't the office manager. Anyways, is this guy trying to play some stupid game of chicken where he's trying to, I don't know, like make the detective say it, but if the detective doesn't say it, then he won't be charged because the detective doesn't want to say something as foul as he's going to say, that you crushed your kid's ribs, like you were playing aggressive xylophone? Like, I'm not quite sure what this game of chicken is with this, baby.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
like an explanation as to that, because like I told you,
Yeah.
when you guys first saw me that day there, never once in my life will I ever put my fucking hands on my kids, and I grabbed your...
Listen, spanking a kid is awful. But what's spanking a 3-month-old gonna do? That's crazy. That's so crazy. Bro, the idea of spanking a 3-month-old is so inconceivable. Talk about like wasted effort. These are like little beings that can't learn from that kind of treatment. I will never put hands on my. It's a 3-month-old. It's not even a kid yet. Listen, 5-year-old. I don't think you should hit any kids, but at least a 5-year-old will react when you raise the hand. A 3-month-old. I mean, you're just gonna make it cry more.
All right, but my father, on the other fucking hand, beat me as a child. And that is the exact reason
probably
I told
should've.
myself and promised myself and that woman sitting in that fucking...
Bro, but like, I can't even. A 3-month-old will go like 0 to 60 if they're hungry. A 3-month-old doesn't know when it's hungry. It just becomes hungry. I mean, I got no science to back this up, but like a 3-month-old will go 0 to 60 when hungry. A 3-month-old will go 0 to 60 when it has a bad diaper. These aren't things that the 3-month-old is planning. The 3-month-old isn't saying, you know, daddy isn't. I don't know what do you call it in basketball? Section 3 of the game, quarter 3. That's it. Quarter 3 of the game. He's down by 2. I'm gonna start shitting my pants. That's not something that a 3-month-old will do, right? So I don't know what hitting would do besides like make you feel good. But again, if you hit a 3-month-old, it's just gonna make them do the thing that you don't want them to do, but more and harder. Again, I've never hit my kid because it's stupid. Quite frankly, it's so stupid. But like this guy even having this monologue, you know, sometimes you like do something bad and then you kind of like rat yourself out. So like my wife made this delicious cake. My wife is just so good at cooking. She is so talented. I love this woman. She made this delicious cake. Let's say I eat half the cake. And then she's like, you know, she's talking with someone else. Like, you know, I've noticed things been vanishing around the house. You know, I can't find my keys. I can't find this. I'm just losing things. And then if I come in saying, yeah, and I would never eat half a cake. I would never ever eat half the cake. First off, that came out of nowhere. You just told everyone that you would eat half a cake in that situation. And that's exactly what I'm getting here. You know, your kid was found with marks of abuse. Listen, I would never hit my kid because I was hit as a kid. It's like, oh, well, now I know who hit the kid. It's either you or your dad who hit the kid. Absolutely crazy. Like, talk about just bringing up something that's not relevant. And I'll tell you why it's not relevant. Yes, there are like bruises and things on this poor baby, but this guy could have like literally said anything except for him saying, I didn't do it. I didn't hit my kid because I have a motto that I won't hit my kid. The fact that you would even have to, I'm sorry, I'm trying to work this idea out. The fact that you would even have to make a motto to not do it insinuates that there's a possibility that you might, do it.
Fucking house. You never do anything to that child. So for you to tell me that there's something wrong with his ribs and that it was a process of healing, that's...
There was new.
I love how indignant he is. Is that the right word? I love how offended he is, even though, we all know he did it. Look, the title says it. Dad beats baby to death. I know he did it. This guy on the screen knows he did. Look at this guy wearing cheap boots. But these are cheaper shoes, so, who really is the criminal here? So we know he did it, and now he's going to act like, oh, are you insinuating that I did it? Even though I just admitted to doing it?
Healing and then old. So this would have been from essentially the start.
From when he was born.
Yeah. Not from birth, though, because we have those medical records.
Okay, obviously.
Right. So...
Sorry for interrupting. Sorry. Now here's a odd question on my end. the mom definitely knew. The idea that a baby could have a broken anything and it's not a extremely visible wound. Is a bruise a wound? I'm not too sure. But there's not a visual marker. Absolutely insane. Babies have like translucent skin. You know, they're almost as freaky as the placenta sacs that they come out of. You ever see a placenta sac after the birth? It's like a whole wall of blood cells and then like a clear sac. Babies got very clear skin. And sometimes they got pink skin, you know? It's like taking bread out of the oven. The bread's still warm. So the idea that like any blemish could exist on a baby and like the person changing the diaper or the clothes do not see it, bro, lock the mom up.
Some of the other concerns would be blood on his brain.
Blood in his brain.
Blood on his brain. And that would be from a traumatic event.
Look at how defensive
Near
this guy's
the
getting.
time of his death.
I want to do body language. You see how the suspect is shaking his leg a lot, showing how nervous he is. And look how he keeps repeating the words after the officer says it. He knows what he did. Wow, I'd be so bad at that, bro. Oh.
Like, anything traumatic?
What do you mean?
Bro, traumatic is like such a crazy word. Like, traumatic is like the absolute end of whatever scale there is. There's like peaceful, nothing bad, and like traumatic's on the other side. Anything traumatic? I mean, I only hit him with a hammer.
And like me yelling at the dog.
This would be
Absolutely. You yelling at the dogs. Absolutely unacceptable.
This would be a physical traumatic event. There was also linear bruising on his buttocks. Could be in the shape of a hand and fingers.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also bruising on his scrotum, so there was some sort of trauma to his lower end.
Okay.
And that would have been recent. Because if this would have occurred at your parents' house,
Yeah, it would have
been noticed.
Okay, so
one, you would have noticed it.
correct.
She would have noticed
So-
it. The doctor would have noticed it.
If there's anything on his butt, that possibly.
Okay, here's another thing. See, I don't know America, right? I don't know anything, but I do know, like, I'm doing a 1 week, 2 week check, 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, 6 month. The doctor wasn't able to catch anything. Like they kind of like started hitting the baby maybe after 2 months or something. I wonder.
It could have been me, maybe, from
Okay.
when I was tapping him and shit, but not to the excess that I would leave a handprint on him.
You did the fist though. That's so weird. He was doing this fist thing. What are we at? 8:56. Let's see. Was it this?
Head trauma. In addition, doctors discovered he had multiple fractured ribs. Some were recent, others were already in the process of healing. Medical professionals confirmed that Zayden's bones were healthy, again ruling out any underlying disease that could have caused spontaneous fracture and swelling in and around his brain, hemorrhaging around his spinal cord, and was bleeding.
That's crazy. Listen, you kind of gotta hit a baby a little bit to get them to burp. But that's crazy, bro. That's wild. And I am judging you. Just need to know that. Damn, I'm off by a minute.
Tapping him and shit, but not to the excess that I would leave a handprint on him. At least I don't believe I was
Hey, chat, do we like him with or without the hair?
hitting him that hard. Was there anything on his back from where I was hitting him? Okay. So
This would be more of an isolated thing. It wouldn't be post-mortem, which is post-death. This would have been before that.
okay.
So that's why we're trying to figure out what occurred that morning that could have caused these injuries. Because it's something that we have to explain. It's something that, your family needs answers to. It's something that we have to figure out for
Correct.
Zayden. Okay, and unfortunately this case does not get closed until we figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
This case doesn't go away. We have injuries that we need to to get explained. Do I think anybody wanted to intentionally hurt this young child? No.
Yes.
I mean,
But I think so.
I don't want to believe that I hurt his ribs.
Mhm.
Genuinely, like from the way I grabbed him or anything.
Mhm.
And I don't believe I did grab him rough at all, or from whatever happened in that morning from when I grabbed him. If I did anything wrong to him, because I don't remember
Talks like a fool.
him hitting anything. I don't remember anything of that sort to cause a traumatic experience, other than maybe from when I ran around the house with him, or if I set him down on the floor too hard, or if I grabbed him too hard. Those are the only things that I could possibly think of.
I couldn't imagine the force needed to do that to a baby. I couldn't imagine. Because you know what? You know, babies are translucent, blah, blah, blah. You know, babies bounce, okay? Metaphorically, of course, but babies bounce. The pressure that you would have to put on it, crazy.
The extent of the injuries, it would be a noticeable event. It would be something you would say, yeah, I recall that. It's something that would have been significant. So it's not from CPR. It wouldn't be from back pats. Because if it was from something like that, that would have been, you know, a more widespread bruising.
When detectives spoke with Andrew and Michelle's families, they learned that the couple had a history of heated arguments. According to relatives, those disputes sometimes escalated into...
Why? Because the guy wouldn't watch his kid? The guy clearly had an issue watching his kid for 3 months alone?
...to physical confrontations.
Nice.
Not completely battering
I won't hit my kid. I will never hit my kid, but I'll hit my wife.
each other, but not just in each other's faces either. Family members also added that Andrew tended to become angry over minor inconveniences, especially when he was tired. And under both circumstances, if Zayden needed attention, Andrew could be extremely heavy-handed with him. With this information, detectives began forming a theory that Andrew...
Listen, I'm a man-child. I have emotional outbursts, and I have bitch fits. You ever hear about these? Little hissy fits that men have because they're a little tired. You know, it's the end of the world. You know, we always talk about, like, women being so emotional and women PMSing. You know, I PMS every time I got less than 12 hours of sleep.
Andrew more than likely killed Zayden due to this rough handling, and so that's why they pressed for the manslaughter charge. Watch how they continued to push him from that angle and finally managed to get a confession out of him.
2-3 hour window then of
Nice
what
shoes,
possibly
bro.
could explain those injuries. Because like I said, we were present for all these different things. It's not, and I know when we first spoke, you know, we're like, well, you know, sometimes, you know, there's SIDS or something of that nature, but that's not the case. There is a known cause and manner of death, and that was listed as some kind of blunt force trauma.
As blunt force trauma, which does not make any fucking sense to me. So,
is this my third video on dead babies? That's awful, bro. What the hell is wrong with me?
Wait, let me say something real fast, okay? I don't want you to think that we brought you and Michelle down here to point the finger at either of you and say you.
Well, I mean, my whole family's doing it, so
well,
that's kind of what it feels like. And I'm honestly about to get an attorney.
Okay, just listen to me.
Because I'm not liking it. I'm feeling attacked the same day I was feeling attacked the day you guys came. I couldn't see my son in the ambulance because you guys wanted to question me. You questioned me. I gave you your answers that you wanted and you needed, because I'm trying to help you understand what happened to my son. Because I want to understand what happened to my son, and she needs to understand what happened to my son, because she needs to stop stressing out.
Okay, then all I can ask you to do is sit here and try to help us. I will explain everything to you as I'm trying to. I'm not attacking you. I'm going to tell you the utmost truth of what I have and what he has, and explain that there's only technically one or two things that could have happened, okay? Now, when I spoke to you in the car, the ambulance was not there. I didn't keep you from being in an ambulance. They wouldn't have allowed you in the operating room where he was at. They wouldn't have allowed that. All right? And I explained that to you there.
Just don't understand.
The detective explained. Zayden had some linear bruising on his butt and down by his scrotum. More than likely, it probably could have been caused from the same strike. He could have been sat down super hard on something. I can't tell you that, okay? Because I'm not there. All right? But these injuries that occurred, that we found, injuries to his brain, okay, the blood on his brain, and some of these broken ribs happened sometime that morning. Okay, there's only 2 of you there that morning. I don't think either you or Michelle hurt him at all intentionally to cause harm to Zayden. I don't think that.
I don't genuinely recall anything happening. I can't remember if we set him down too hard, I set him down too hard.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't remember anything.
His voice is shaking, bro.
No, nothing.
I don't know.
So there's a possibility that those injuries on my son are from me, from grabbing him too hard. If we did have a fight, because we did have problems obviously when he was born. I did pick up Zayden a little too rough sometimes. Obviously not on that day, you know, and obviously like you said, I was frustrated and stuff, but it was never intentionally to hurt him or anything. It was just out of anger, and you know, I did grab him a couple times too hard and pick him up a little too fast, but again, I never did anything intentionally to hurt him.
We don't think that.
I did pick him up, you know, rough some.
You know what? It takes some time in life, and like unfortunately, like this guy is gonna learn this too late because he already did the damage. But your inability to control your emotions and your inability to regulate yourself and your inability to do X, Y, or Z will lead to negative consequences. And that's why even if you're like just so mad, you can't move with that anger. You can't let that anger into your hands. Because guess what? Let's say this title is so sensational. It really is a great title. But let's say it was just what he's saying right now. I would consider it like first degree or second degree murder. I don't think it's a manslaughter thing. I think he knew what he was doing. I think he was having a hissy fit. And unfortunately, that hissy fit went and manifested itself on someone who was so susceptible to being hurt that they got hurt and they died. His inability to control himself led to his hissy fit killing his kid.
Sometimes, and I was rough around him. You know, like I was screaming around him a lot, and she told me to stop doing that because that's also a traumatic thing. Yeah. And I really should.
And he knows this. He knows this because he brought up the dogs prior.
And I didn't. Like the holes in our house are from my anger.
Yeah.
So.
Andrew,
I was right.
Yes. We don't think you're a bad guy, Andrew. We're just trying to.
I love my
think
son.
Andrew, I would never
you're the
question
worst
it. I
guy.
would never
I
question
want him back. I want him back, dude.
So you could hit him again?
His head didn't hit like his skull wasn't crushed. His skull like wasn't deformed. It wasn't. He didn't hit his head on something like hard. Now, like when we said there's blunt force trauma, that means a wide variety of things. It's not like at CSI where it was like, you know, the candlestick in the kitchen or something. So
library.
But what could have happened?
Candlestick in the library. That's the clue reference.
There's that level of frustration, and he was put down too hard even on a soft surface.
I was gonna say, could it be from being picked up as well? If I picked him up too hard,
possibly.
Bro, you know. Listen. You ever break like a dish or something, and you're just not looking at it, but you know it broke, or you broke a cup or something. You know what you did. Come on. We're not playing this game. Maybe it could have been when I was flossing in the kitchen and I hit the baby with my doing the woo, 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 oh. You know, you picked it up. Your wife. Do you work, Andrew, or whatever your name is? Maybe you got in a fight because you're clearly a bum. And your family needed money, so much so that your wife had to get a job. That's okay. That happens. But you were having a hissy fit. And you...
No.
After feeding?
No, I just put him down. I remember putting him down perfectly fine, but in the morning when I did go to feed him, I did...
Did you, like, throw him down? Awful, bro. Did you throw your baby down? How bad is that when you say your baby? Did you crush your baby's ribs between your fingers?
Pick him up.
Disgusting.
Not as soft as I normally did. In that moment, I kind of did feel like I did something wrong, but he was perfectly fine. Because when I picked him up, it picked him up and his neck was like that. It did like jolt back, and I caught it with my hand, and he seemed fine. That's why I didn't mention it.
How were you feeling that morning? I mean, it was.
I was scared of being alone with him. I didn't want to be alone with him. But I knew she had to go to work and make money to take care of him, obviously, because my parents and her parents are going to take care of him forever.
What?
Money to take care of him, obviously, because my parents and her parents are going to take care of him forever.
Oh. My parents and her parents are not going to take care of him forever. I mean, they should. They did a poor job. You ever hear that old adage? Is that what it's called? An adage? You ever hear that old adage? If you don't raise your kids, you're going to raise your grandkids. This is clearly a situation where they were raising their grandkids.
I wasn't frustrated that morning.
It's even worse, bro. You just wanted to hurt.
But you're scared.
And I rushed it.
Okay. This is awful. This is awful.
It's like this.
How awful is that? Like when the you know you're cornered, you're caught. I think that was a very genuine cry. I think that was a very, very genuine cry. But like, oh my God, I couldn't imagine. Like, let's say like I don't even want to do the dead kid situation, but like when you're able to just like admit it and say it out loud, that is a awful feeling. And you know, it's a cleansing feeling, it's a healing feeling, but like, man, that's tough, bro. I couldn't even. That's a level of emotion I don't want to have to feel.
But the inside's inverted, so it's more cushioning on the edges, and it's basically like he's laying on the wood.
In the center? Is that where you put him down too hard?
What? How thin is this mattress?
What happened after that?
He was fine. I changed him. I gave him his food.
This is terrible.
And then when he was done eating, that's when I burped him. And I brought him to his crib and I laid him down. And he was perfectly fine throughout all of that, and he didn't do anything.
Did he cry at all?
Not really. The only time he cried was when the bottle fell out of his mouth, but I figured that was because it fell out of his mouth. Okay. And he stopped when I gave it back to him.
Did you burp him?
He didn't cry anymore when you went and laid him down? Not even just a little bit?
No. I gave him his biggie, and he was there. He looked up at me, and he was laying down. I didn't see any tears. I didn't hear him cry. I didn't hear like a whimper or a gasp or anything. I didn't hear anything.
Was he more quiet than usual?
Jesus.
There's a reason why I started going into his room every 5 minutes, is because he was cry for attention.
Bro. Oh my God. Oh, when you prolong calling for help because you're just wishing, you're like praying that the problem will fix itself. Bro, oh. That's so rough. I will not cry. I will not cry. But that is what What a terrible feeling. I couldn't imagine how panicked this guy felt.
So, yeah, it was a lot more quiet when I put him there.
Jesus.
Andrew, any reason
Oh.
changing table and snatching him up out of bed the morning I spoke to you?
I'm scared. I don't want to get in trouble.
Wrong answer. That's the wrong answer, right? That has to be the wrong answer. I don't want to get in trouble. Wrong answer, bro. Come on. Come on. Get out of here.
I love my son.
I'm not saying you didn't love him, but you knew you'd put him down too hard, right? Could have been something could have helped.
And him not wanting to get in trouble is the reason why the baby is dead now. The baby isn't dead because of the boom. Because it sounds like he had enough time to call for help. But him not wanting to get in trouble, him being in this debate, this eternal debate, like, oh, well, should I do it now? I can get in trouble for this. Do I do it? No. Do I wait? Do I luck it out? Poor man. I mean, I am so sorry what happened to your kid, but like this, I don't want to get in trouble thing. Like, bro, maybe you should just be placed down on a crib really hard. That was really mean. That was a little too edgy. No, but seriously, this guy just showed all his cards in that one statement.
Have you been worried about this?
What if I put him too hard down on the floor?
When was that?
The floor?
Giving him CPR in the living room, I think I put him down too hard because of the panic.
At that
point,
That's weird.
that
See, like at that point, I would imagine that the baby was in such a state that they would, that extra force might have even helped. See, I don't know too much about CPR, but I would imagine everything leading up to putting the baby on the ground would be the part that would be concerned about.
at that point, it was already too far.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have. The circumstances and things that have unfolded and how the medical examiner ruled everything, okay? His death is listed as cause, blunt force trauma, and the manner is homicide. Okay? So what that means is there was an act that took place.
When's the
by another
Xbox come
person
in?
That led to his death.
Come on, bro. When's the
Okay.
Chell coming in?
So what's going to happen next? You're going to be arrested for manslaughter. This is not murder. This is not you intended for this to happen. Okay.
But like Murder 2 doesn't have anything to do with intention, does it?
Okay.
I don't know.
This is
I don't
something. This is the beginning. It's not the end.
Please get her. Please get her so she knows what's going on. Please get her.
we're telling her.
I will.
I want.
Okay. So this is what's taking place. This isn't the end. This is the beginning.
Bro,
Okay?
that would be my end. That would be my end.
This isn't the end all be all. Okay.
I mean, how could you walk
You
through life?
understand? Okay.
Y'all know that.
Where's the Xbox? Come
Stand up for
on.
me.
Play Halo. Bro.
After accepting a plea deal of no contest for aggravated child
Bro. No contest? No contest? He just said he did it. The contest is done. There is no contest. He lost.
manslaughter and aggravated child abuse, Andrew Martin was sentenced to 25 years in prison.
Yeah, look at that lady. She's British as hell. I'm gonna take a break from some of the true crime. I think, well, at least concerning little ones. It's absolutely insane when we step back from the interview and everything, just watching his behavior, we're watching a man who's like acting out a lie, and he changes from his fist to his palm. In the beginning of the video, we saw him burping with the palm. In the middle of the video, we saw him burping with the fist. So we're watching like these lies that are playing out. You know, I wonder just based off like the bruising of the ribs, like was it that the baby was being slammed down too hard if it was the bruising of the ribs? I don't know. I imagine he was squeezing the baby while lifting it up. It's terrible stuff. Like it's such a sad story. I think he's sad for reasons that are different than why I'm sad, and that gets me upset. It's disgusting. I don't know about this Xbox thing. I assume the title is working off slams the baby down, goes to play Xbox, and then he does his 5-minute checks in between playing Xbox while having that debate. You know, I don't want to get in trouble. You know, it's a awful video, awful story. You know, I mean, what are you supposed to do? Why does this guy get a manslaughter when there was a repeated pattern of abuse? He should have at least had a couple other charges like child abuse. That's a charge. Throw that on. Because, you know, really, this guy shouldn't be getting any grace. There's nothing graceful about this guy. He's a creep. Anyways, I'm so sorry. You know, as awful as this guy is, I feel bad. I couldn't imagine walking through life knowing that I did that to the one thing. Oh, bro, you know what it's like having a baby? Like, you'll never have anything that loves you more than a baby loves you. You know, dogs, they love you a lot too, but these babies, they are absolutely obsessed with you. They're the only thing that they see. And if I was ever the one to do that, I mean, bro, I would be abstaining out, because to let something like that, to let that relationship go down, it might be like one of the worst crimes of ever. Okay, well, thank you. That's the end of this video.